All right, guys, gals, aliens, and degen freaks, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna keep the music going a little bit here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So happy Wednesday, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching from, whatever time you're watching from, time zone. We're happy you are here on this channel and building this grassroots community, this dojo crew that we have on this channel, and we are happy you guys are here. We're happy you guys are here. So, all right, so let's get this show on the road. We got some things to talk about. Bitcoin is actually trading over the 200-day, or at least traded back up to the 200-day moving average. So we're going to watch for this, and hopefully we can hold this level. If we can hold this 200-day moving average level and trade above 65K, then the next stop, guys, is $70,000. And we will be back in bull run territory for Bitcoin to break out of the larger time frame cup and handle, which everyone has been, not everyone, let's say, the key TA people have been seeing this cup and handle pattern and these massive W patterns playing out and hopefully being respected on the charts. But we do have a little bit of a bearishness, some news that Mt. Gox is moving some BTC again, that there's some dormant Satoshi era wallets that have been activated that are sending BTC. So it always feels like every time we start to get that bullish momentum and movement, we get that FUD, we get that fear, we get all that crap that makes us feel scared to go into the market. So without further ado, we're going to cover all this. We're going to cover the news. We're going to cover the charts. But first, we're going to do the first portion of the show, and that is the Bitcoin and altcoin analysis. And so make sure you guys are hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, and dinging the bell to be notified when I go live, because then you can get immediately the crypto alpha. Whether you think this is alpha or not, I think we have some fun on this channel. And so make sure you guys are using all the links in the description to directly support the channel, and keeps the lights on. It keeps the lights on Dana Crypto. And so make sure you also are joining into the Discord, and you can post your favorite memes. We got to get these memes going. The memes are a little lackluster recently, so let's get you guys in there posting your favorite memes, specifically crypto memes. Doesn't have to be crypto memes, but that would be nice. And you guys can always, just as a reminder, you can hang out and chat amongst yourselves in this chat box, this chat group right here, and we can get a good conversation going. And I think it'd be fun for us to get to know each other a little bit better, especially the normal watchers of the Dano Crypto channel. And let's see what we got going on here. Gas prices for Ethereum right now are at 29 Gwei. So the gas prices right now are actually kind of high. So to do a transaction, it will cost you a good $20, almost $25 to $30 to send an Ethereum transaction. So that's pretty that's nasty, guys. We don't like that. Almost kind of smells like the NFT market again. People minting NFTs and crowding up that transaction throughput. But yeah, so let's go into the overall markets right now. Let's go into the Bitcoin analysis. Let's look at what Bitcoin's doing right now. Let me get my trading view back over in this area. It looks like since we just started the stream, we got rejected off of that 200-day moving average and going back to 63.6. We were just about to cross over 64,000. We crossed over 64,000 if you're looking at the short-term time frames, and we got rejected off of the freaking 200-day moving average again. And so it's not looking too good right now in terms of the short-term price action. But if you were to look at the 4-hour, you'd look at the 4-hour, it's a different story. It's a different kind of story. It looks like, obviously we had a nice wick of a bounce below 63.3, and it looks like we could be trading up into the top of the Bollinger Band if we can just crush and hold this level. But it seems like we're not able to hold it right now. Getting a little low. Not too bad, though. Not too bad. But hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone is feeling good and you're not getting too bearish, because we are in a bull market. We're still in a bull market. We have not ended the bull market. The bull run is coming after the election. It's just, this is what happens. And since 2012, regardless of who has won the election, we have had movements in the markets. We've had movements with Bitcoin. I think the uncertainty kind of settles, and we then start to see business as usual with the stock market and also with Bitcoin. And this is since 2012. And this was the first halving. If you know Bitcoin, it was created in 2009, 10, 11, 12. Oh, this little cute guy. I got to show you guys this guy. Come here, God. Oh, come here. You're so sweet. He's just this is my little guy Simba, little Sims. This is little Sims. He was just rolling on my feet. He's not used to me having my studio inside the house. So I've been in the DGen garage, so he's hanging out. Say hello to Sims. Say hello to the little Sims. Mwah. He's a good boy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. All right, but yeah, so basically since 2012 of the first halving, and then each consecutive halving after that, we've had pumps in the stock market. And also, he's a hairy guy, though. Holy moly. He's a super hairy dude. Gotta brush that guy. But, yeah, we've basically, historically, have had bullish movements after the election, perfectly timed with the Bitcoin halving and the election. And it seems like that was purposefully done. I don't know what you guys think. Put your thoughts in the chat of if you think that the 4-year cycle and the 4-year election cycle was planned to line up perfectly. And it just seems like coming out of 2008 and now that financial crash that we had, basically the banks being bailed out and all this stuff and just nonsense in our monetary policies, that Bitcoin was born out of this. So with that being said, we want to check these levels. Want to check these levels here, and it looks like I'm telling you, even though the short-term time frame looks like, oh, we got rejected a little bit off the 200-day, but we could actually crush above it. Now, if you're looking at the Fibonacci levels, what ended up happening, if you were looking at the Fibonacci retracement levels for Bitcoin, the 618 is basically where we've been trading sideways on. We've been trading sideways off the 618. So I think that's a good sign and a good indication that we will trade above the 618 and we won't get fully rejected because we are we're not consolidating down off the 618, basically how we did this time right here. This time right here, we basically traded above the 618 and then we got rejected hard. You can see here off this little flag, and it pumped off the flag, went to 65.2, and then we got rejected all the way down to freaking $52,000. Now that, I think, probably was the last stop. Now, we were a little bearish at this point when we were thinking going back down to 55.6. We were like, ugh, is Bitcoin going to hit this trend line again and literally wreck us again and wreck altcoins and go down and hit this trend line again? And if it hit that trend line again, that means we would just be doing another movement like this, going down, testing those retracements, and then hitting that trend line at 54,000, which would be the gap that was formed on the CME that was never filled. And then we go, and then we pump. I don't want that, though. I know you guys don't want that either. You want this W right here to play out. And if it does play out, then the obvious next levels after crushing the 618 level and the 786, which is basically the $65,000 level. We'll call it the same level. It's where the Bollinger Bands right here pinched up 1, 2. We're going to get that move up here. We just have to get some more momentum and strength. We got to trade hard above 65 and do way more of a measured move than what we did here. Now, if we look at the RSI in this level, let me clean up the chart a little bit because there's like a lot going on. Let me see. Let me get this fib out of here. Let me get that out of here. I don't need all of these levels marked. We can get that one out of there. Okay. All right. So now let's look at the RSI when we were here in August 20, right when we hit that 65 to resistance. Look at where the RSI was. Okay, and the SMI, the semastic measured move here of the index, and we were kind of topped out a little bit. Okay, So let's look and bring the RSI level where the price is currently right now. And we are having a nice, I think, divergence. And so it could be that we have a nice little cross of a divergence, and then we get our respective move back above. But see, what's good though is that being up in this range that's been marked from 62.7 and 64.3 is that we've just been kind of trading sideways. We've just been doing one of these things. We've been doing one of these, do. And so for traders, it gives you kind of like are we going to now just kind of hit this level? Or are we going to, now it's kind of like, it's kind of at a standstill. It's on the fence. If you tell me right now or ask me, what do you think Bitcoin is doing? Well, I think Bitcoin is just on the fence. It's on the fence. It needs the bulls to come into full effect. The bulls need to come into full effect and actually take hold of the price, and we can start moving forward. But we have things like this, which is Mt. Gox likely to move more Bitcoin soon. Of course, whenever we get bullish movements again going up, we get Mt. Gox FUD, and it's just classic. And then we also have some dormant Bitcoin Satoshi era wallets that have activated themselves. And this was around the time between 2009 and 2011 where a lot of these wallets that were mining Bitcoin are now starting to activate, and they're sending it into exchanges like BitFLEX and Bitstamp and a lot of these old exchanges and first exchanges that were available to use for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So does this mean that they are sending it to immediately sell, or are they sending it to eventually sell when we have a breakout? So that's the question. The question is, are they going to be selling right now, or are they selling when Bitcoin goes and hits the parabolic run of 100K? Maybe they're getting ready to sell that Bitcoin once we hit a breakout, because it would make sense to sell it right. Why would you want to sell it right now when we're literally in the peak of the bull run? Some people could say, hey, they're just going to dump soon. They're going to dump it soon. My assumption is that if they didn't sell this entire time, and now they're just awakening, I think what it is that could be on the reverse, not thinking that they're going to dump it because they think the price is going to dump, but they are getting ready to sell it at max profits. I'm talking like when Bitcoin is at 100K, then they're going to start selling pieces of that pie. I could be wrong, but if I had held that long, was able to hold millions of dollars in BTC for that long, you could probably hold it another 4 years, right? You probably, if you have strong conviction like that, almost Da Vinci J15 level conviction, then you could probably do it again. It's just like the people who are ETH whales that when the ETH was unstaked and was unlocked, guess what they did? They staked it again. They took the ETH and they staked it again. They didn't sell. They didn't like do a major sell-off. It was so bearish in the news about a lot of this Ethereum being unlocked, and it didn't do anything. They're holding. They're holding that. They're not going to sell Bitcoin at $63,000 or 64, or even sell it at this price. Any of these prices out here, they're not going to sell it at that price. Why would they sell it at that price when they, from their own personal experience of market cycles, knows that Bitcoin could hit another 230% to 300% run in this bull run? And we'll show you a chart that gives you that metric of where the peak of the bull run we think is going to be, which is going to be next year. It's going to be next year, but there's going to be some key months where you can start taking those profits and start DCAing out of the market. And right now is the DCA in portion of the market, but the window starts to close. You only have so much of a window to get cheaper prices for Bitcoin and altcoins. And you can see this by looking at the dominance. You look at the dominance, And the dominance is actually going back down. If you look at the daily, the dominance is going back down into, I think, the 55 to 53,000 or 53% range, which was the key indication of getting into altcoins. Because at the point where Bitcoin dominance is at 53%, that means that ETH dominance is going to be at 18%, just like it was in March. Look at these points where we had dominance of ETH scale up into over 16%. Average of the average moving average is 16% of the market dominance on Ethereum. So once we start to see that flippening of dominance, that is your metric to know that your altcoins are going to be in pump territory. Now, if we go into the total 3, which is excluding BTC and Ethereum, this is the total market cap of all altcoins across the market, excluding the top big dogs, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So with that being said, that means this includes Solana, Cardano, all of the other layer 1s and layer 2s that are in this space. And you can see that there's a W pattern, the winning pattern. We've been seeing this winning pattern all over the charts, on the altcoins, on the dominance itself, on the altcoins, the market cap. And so this is what we are seeing in the charts, is that we are gearing up for the next run, which is going to completely destroy our little teaser run that we had in March. Because in March, that was our little teaser move. It was like a little taste of what the run will look like, because that was nothing. You know, the movements that were in March of this year was nothing compared to what is going to ensue for Bitcoin and the rest of the market. Because when you analyze what happened with Bitcoin in the institutional adoption of all of the ETFs and BlackRock accumulating, Michael Saylor accumulating, Argentina accumulating, all these countries that are bullish on crypto are accumulating and adding to their stack. And with that institutional adoption, we had Bitcoin overpace and basically go way higher than we were even speculating before a halving date. It went up 90%. It went up 90%. So it's amazing what was able to be done with the price movements of Bitcoin with that institutional adoption. And so I think the same thing is going to happen with Ethereum. We're going to have that move with Ethereum, with that institutional adoption, with the ETFs. If you look at some data here, we'll pull up some data. There it is. Okay, so here's the Bitcoin ETFs. Spot volume flows has gone almost up to $400 billion of spot inflows in the past month. It's increased from $380 billion to almost over $410 billion. And then you can see that now that we've had some time to marinate on the ETF inflows and outflows, we have some spot Ethereum ETF flows that are starting to get over into the 13 billion to 14 billion area. And you got to think, whenever we started with Bitcoin, it was just down here at the 100 billion range, all time, year to date. If we go to year to date, I mean, look, it was just a steady climb up, more inflows than outflows with the volume. And it's just, I see this happening with Ethereum as well, that we start to get, imagine we get a cumulative spot Ethereum ETF volume of 100 billion. This is going to be the catalyst that is going to send Ethereum into, I think, its all-time highs. Now, let's see. Let's go to the Ethereum chart really quick so I can show you guys. And we'll show you the ribbon. Look, this MA ribbon, this ribbon indicator is showing that we are starting to trade and flip these moving averages to start going bullish in the green. And all we're going to see is that moving average start to get hit. We trade back up to the 200-day moving average, which is that 3,100 level. If we break this, Then we have broken the downtrend. We've broken the downtrend on Ethereum, and we're going to see that dominant switch, and we're going to go back up to test into that resistance, which was in this range between 3,800 and 4,100. And you are going to see things like AVAX, like Solana, like Chainlink, Pepe, Phantom, Near Protocol. I mean, all of these things are going to end up pumping along with the strength of Ethereum. This is what's very interesting, is that you have to use Ethereum as a metric of strength for altcoins in general, and Litecoin, same thing. You use Litecoin and Ethereum, and you see how bullish they start to get, and then the rest of the altcoin market will ensue. And this is my thought process to keep me on track to not get too bearish or forget about Ethereum, because whether we like it or not, Ethereum is the backbone of smart contracts, and also with DeFi. It's the strongest chain in terms of liquidity and DeFi protocols, lending protocols. Yes, there's other options, but if you think about it, Ethereum was what started it all in terms of that. So we want Ethereum to succeed. We want Ethereum to succeed. All right, so that was a Bitcoin breakdown, and also kind of talked a little bit about some altcoins. We'll get a little bit more into the altcoins, but we're going to keep the show on the road. We're going to get into some of the breaking news, and we're going to get into the quote of the day, the coin of the day, and then we'll end with the questions and answers, discussions, debates, all those things. And I hope you guys are doing well. Again, just want to check in with you guys, make sure you're good. Make yourselves known in the chat. If you have not sent a message in this chat, I don't know what you're waiting for, but I want to know who you are. I want to know what you're doing. And our little guy's wanting out of the room now. So give me just a second. He doesn't meow very often, but when he does, it's cute. Just like, some cats don't have a very strong meow. But all right, guys. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Like, don't get too bearish on the short-term price actions or people being super bearish and fading Ethereum. If you hear someone saying that Ethereum is dead and it's going to bleed out and it's not going to go anywhere, you need to ignore that person. Just ignore them. Don't listen to them. Like, they'll wreck you. They'll make you so bearish on Ethereum, and then when Ethereum's at 10K, you're going to look at that person, you're going to be like, why the hell was I listening to you? Not saying to listen to me. You just need to make your own assumptions. Make your own assumptions. You don't have to listen to me. Don't do what I'm doing. But if you do your own research, guess what? You'll come to the same conclusion. You'll come to the same conclusion if you do your research properly. The difference between someone who's bearish on Ethereum and someone who's bullish is the amount of research they do. That's the difference. Are they able to unbiasedly look at the research and look at the data, look at the movements, look at the freaking charts, and just like come to the conclusion besides just being an ETH hater because they think whatever chain that they've invested in and have a bunch of money in as an altcoin is going to perform better? And that is not a way to operate in this space, my personal opinion. So with that being said, let's go into a little bit of what's happening across the markets, what's happening in the news, and let me see how many people are watching. Let's see how many people we got. All right, YouTube is being ridiculous, so no problem. That's okay. That's okay. YouTube can still be ridiculous as long as they want, because you know what? There's probably going to be other platforms that are going to be just as strong as YouTube that we will eventually probably stream onto, and we are not going to be hyper-focused on how many people are watching on YouTube, because we know for a fact that crypto content is being stifled. It's being not algorithm properly for getting people on this stream, and so that's okay. Maybe YouTube will play nice. They'll play nice eventually. What do you think, guys? You think YouTube will play nice? Or are we going to have to keep fighting the system? Have to keep fighting the system. All right, so let's get to breaking news. Let's get to the breaking news. I hope you guys are liking all the updates that we've done on the channel, keeping this thing a little bit more calculated, on task, and on point. You can see we have some nice animations going to the breaking news, so you know where we're at in the show. And we were just, if you're just coming in, we were doing some Bitcoin analysis and altcoin analysis and seeing where we are going in the immediate short term, but also to zoom out and look at where we are going in the long term. Okay, so let's get into, let's go to danielcurtishughes.com. You know, first go to that website. That would be cool. You guys take the Bitcoin trivia machine if you've never taken this little quiz, test yourself. And hey, let's do it right now. All right, so Bitcoin trivia machine. What is Bitcoin? It's a type of cryptocurrency. So who created Bitcoin? Elon Musk, of course. No, Satoshi Nakamoto. Bitcoin trivia machine. What is the maximum supply of Bitcoin? I don't know. You guys tell me. 21 million. What technology underpins Bitcoin? Okay, so is it AI? Is it virtual reality? Is it quantum computing? Well, it's blockchain. So what is a Satoshi? All right, so a Satoshi, a type of cryptocurrency exchange, a type of blockchain, a Bitcoin mining tool. Oh, it's the smallest unit of Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin mining? So it's the process of verifying Bitcoin transactions, process of buying Bitcoin. Is it a game involving Bitcoin? A method of storing Bitcoin? No, it's the process of verifying Bitcoin transactions. When was Bitcoin created? Oh, so 2009, right out of the 2008 financial crash. Which is a popular Bitcoin wallet? So we got Coinbase, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, Facebook has a great Bitcoin wallet. So do Coinbase. What is a Bitcoin halving? So that's important. An event that reduces the reward for mining by half. An event that doubles the Bitcoin supply. Ooh. A method of storing Bitcoin. A decrease in Bitcoin's value. Well, I'd say it's an event that reduces the reward for halving, for mining by half. All right. What is the symbol for Bitcoin? BTC. All right, look. All right, let's see what we got. All right. We want a Bitcoin. Wouldn't it be nice if when you took this, you actually received a full Bitcoin? See, it was almost that easy back in the day whenever Bitcoin was created, is that you could just get that many Bitcoin, possibly for even doing a little fun trivia game as small as that. But yeah, make sure you guys check out this website. We've been updating this website as much as we can to be a little bit more crypto-centric. We have our main exchange links that we like to use. PHEMEX, you only got like literally a week left to be able to sign up without having to KYC. Do you understand this, guys? Do you understand that you are getting a green light, a grandfathered in account if you sign up for PHEMEX before the end of the week? You will be able to not have to KYC. It means your account will be grandfathered in. And if you don't want to deal with any VPN or KYC or anything like that and have a solid exchange to use 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with no problems, I would check out OURBIT Exchange and sign up for that. But all right, guys, let's kind of check real quick on the overall markets with this little bit of a BTC dip and also a little bit of the pump on the 5-minute. You can see the altcoins reacting accordingly with a little bit of the Bitcoin dip. And then on the daily, got some things like SEI and SUI. So it's interesting, like SEI and SUI seem to be the altcoins that people are kind of pivoting into from Solana and some of the chains that were just getting major traction here. So we started to see kind of a pivot from some of these altcoins into things like SUI, SEI, and Tron. And to show you a good representation of how we've seen that pivot is all these coins that are in the red right here were massively in the green in March. And so now what we've seen is that because people started to take profits on these things and they started to go down into their support levels off of resistance, then we were sitting at support at some of these, Tron, XRP, and Aptos, and Ruin, Stacks, SUI, Aave, Tau, but even SEI. We were sitting at support. So what people did is they did a flip and they repositioned into the coins that now are the top performing in the top 50. But what you could do though is take this information and say, okay, these are still, just because they're, on the past 90 days, they're in the red, like SHIB and Link, Dot, Polkadot, Ethereum, HBAR, Arbitrum, Polygon, Pole Ecosystem, TON, Uniswap, Pepe, MakerDAO, Near Protocol, Fetch, ADA, Crow, Injective, VeChain. I mean, all the great coins, Caspa, Optimism. If you don't know about Optimism or Arbitrum, Optimism and Arbitrum are the layer 2s that are being used by Coinbase, more so Optimism. Optimism is used by Coinbase for the base chain. So if you're thinking of some things that you're bullish on the base chain for Coinbase, and you want to figure out the tokens that you would want to invest in based off of what Coinbase is using. So you could say Brett and Optimism are the things that you could invest in for the base chain, as in, because Base doesn't have a coin. It doesn't have a coin. Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, I'd love to hear your opinion. It's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision and Bitcoin Cash obviously are the two forks that were forked off of Bitcoin. I mean, if you just look at the price performance, you obviously are going to see some upticks in price when it comes to the whole entire market going up. But as a store of value for protection, and say Bitcoin actually now becoming a risk-off asset instead of a risk-on, because it's something that you actually want to hold long-term, even when we're in risky, risk-off, risk-on, whatever territories in the market, you'd want to hold Bitcoin. So it's almost kind of like Bitcoin Satoshi Vision and Bitcoin Cash are almost just like XRP. It's like, okay, would you rather hold XRP or would you rather hold Bitcoin? Well, over time, it's shown that if you were to just DCA into Bitcoin, you wouldn't have the massive altcoin swings and company manipulation of XRP, and also scrutiny from SEC, and having people that are the face of XRP or being the face of Bitcoin Satoshi Vision or Bitcoin Cash, and they make a mistake, guess what? Things going down. Just like Telegram. The Pavlov got arrested, Telegram went down 50%. And so Bitcoin's not doing that. There's no one getting arrested for Bitcoin. There's no country getting arrested for Bitcoin. Or someone having to go behind bars or get sued by the SEC because Bitcoin is anonymous. It is decentralized. It is a decentralized peer-to-peer network that is not controlled by one single entity. It is controlled by the miners and participation of the people who use the network. That's it. And so with that being said, you're making a choice as to, okay, like probably better bet to hedge into the top dog, Bitcoin. That's just my personal opinion. But that's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. I don't want you to trade off that or go off of it and say, oh, Dano just said don't buy Bitcoin Satoshi Vision or Bitcoin Cash. I'm just telling you the reality that if you look at the chart, and say Asan Lewis says, but isn't BTC set with Lightning? Well, yeah, there's layers of where you have Bitcoin obviously being throughput through, say, the Lightning Network or Taproot and things like that. But that's just scaling. That's just scaling. And basically what Bitcoin Satoshi Vision and Bitcoin Cash is saying, they're trying to that wasn't how Bitcoin is now, is not what Satoshi envisioned. And that's why they forked off and started, a whole separate chain. But yeah, you could fork Bitcoin all day, but it's still not going to be as strong as the original chain. And it's just a fact now. It's stress tested, and it's been on the market now long enough to be able to be stress tested for that actual fact. And it's just the fact that if Bitcoin wasn't the thing to buy, BlackRock would be making a Bitcoin Satoshi Vision ETF, or they'd make a Bitcoin Cash fund, index fund or something, but they're not. It's Bitcoin. So you're playing a tricky game when you start to go into these forks of Bitcoin where it's like, you just buy Bitcoin. Just buy Bitcoin. You're better off doing that. And so just, I hope that answers your question or makes you feel a little bit better. I don't know. Steve Randall says CZ is being released in 4 days. So that is breaking news. Yes. So that is part of the news. We are anticipating and awaiting, possibly with the BNB, checking the BNB price, because I think BNB is probably going to start actually trading up bullish into the release of CZ, and whatever statement that CZ makes, it will be important as well, because we know that with the sentiment around the market and how these crypto these crypto CEOs are getting, fined, they're getting jail time, they're getting put through the freaking ringer with being in this industry at the top echelon level of making billions of dollars. You start making billions of dollars, guess what? You're on the list. You're on the list. So it's just kind of think about it. You start getting to that type of influence, you're automatically on the list of the system, and the system will get your money. They're not going to let these billionaires just like be too free. They're not going to let them have too much liquidity. They're going to go, let's get a little piece of that and make sure we get a piece of the pie, regardless if it was illegal or not. And we see that happening right now. All right, so this is hilarious. I love Bill Maher opening his big fat mouth and his big, just his opinions on things sometimes don't add up with research. So when you actually, and when he said this, I was like, lies. It's already been proven that Bitcoin does not use as much energy and global energy as people like to lead out to be, because it's FUD. It's always been FUD. It's FUD for the miners. It's FUD for the whole entire space to blame crypto for going against green energy policies or not being a green type of technology. It's absolutely blatant lies. And so thank God Community Notes finally took this and was like, yeah, that's a lie. I was waiting for Community Notes to do it because I was about to community note it myself. I was like, yeah, that's definitely a lie. All right, so let's listen to what old Bill Maher thinks about crypto and what his other guests think about crypto too. It just shows how little research they do and how much they just like to just say stuff without doing any research.
There's the other big secret about crypto that nobody talks about. This bugs me so much. We just had Bjorn talking about the environment. All the progress that we're making with green energy is being sucked away by crypto. Crypto uses 8% of total electricity. They're data centers, they're mining, this nonsense of finding a number. I mean, I can't even go through the whole thing. It's so ridiculous what
No, but see, he just admitted, he's like, I can't even go through what it is because it's so ridiculous. No, you don't want to go through it because you don't understand it, Bill Maher. You think it's ridiculous because you don't understand it. That just shows incompetence. Like, it shows sheer incompetence that you don't understand the market. You don't understand it. So you call it ridiculous and you call it stupid, and this is what makes you uncredible, Bill Maher.
Crypto really is.
That's why it's, of course, this is like Trump's final business just before the election. Of course he'd end up in crypto. It's a grifter's paradise.
And this lady, comparing it to where, oh, well, of course Trump would be in crypto because that's where all the criminals are and all the degens are. It's so ridiculous, guys. Come on. It is just like, are you with me here? Am I the only one that sees the sheer stupidity of these people? They're so freaking stupid.
It's comparable to putting 15.7 million additional gas-powered cars on the road. So as we take them off to go to electric, crypto eats it all up and goes the other way.
And then, okay, guys, by the way, do you know what it takes to make electric cars and batteries? Lots of energy through oil combustion and heat and energy source, which you need oil to do. And so if you were to actually add up the amount of energy used and that is burned into the air on our planet to produce batteries and to also produce the electric cars, that is way more electricity and way more force on your green initiative that we're doing to help combat global warming. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that these people have a platform, get paid money to talk absolute trash and nonsense. They do no due diligence. They do no due diligence. As you could see it right here. Here's the community note. Readers added context so that people might want to know that these people are full of shit. The 8% of global electricity claim is factually incorrect. Bitcoin uses 154 terawatts per year, including renewables, which is 0.49% of global electricity. Also, Ethereum and other cryptos are proof of stake now, which means they don't require any energy intensive hardware for mining. So, what is he talking about? What the hell is he talking about? I don't think he knows. Exactly. Yeah, Lamont, printing money with the big giant money printer machines probably uses more energy than to mine Bitcoin. But guess what? Conveniently, when the governments are printing this money, by the way, the money supply ticking up, that is a direct correlation, and the interest rates being cut around the world into money supply going up. This means that global liquidity is getting ready to inject into the markets. They're not printing all of this money and all this fiat cash to be able to just sit on and hold it in their bank account or hold bonds. Like, get the freak out of here. They're going to buy assets and they're going to buy crypto, and they're mostly now pivoting into buying Bitcoin because when you do the research, you realize that it will be the strongest, easiest money you can access in the entire world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365, doesn't matter what time it is. If you want Joe Schmo or Joey Bag of freaking donuts to get your Bitcoin, they can get it. Doesn't matter what time it is of the day. You don't have to go through third party. You don't have to go through any type of person that is trying to take the money in route and transit. You want to get it from point A to point C without having to go through B and have B go like this. Here's your Bitcoin, and they go like this. Or here's your money, and they go like this. Got it. Got my piece. Got my piece. Got my piece. All right, so this is where all that precious fiat money is going to start going into. Well, it's going to go into the market. And why? Because look, business as usual, proven from 2012, from every having an election, it's business as usual. It's business as usual. We get through the uncertainty, and then it's business as usual. We see two different banana zones. This banana zone happened a little bit earlier to coincide with the double top. A little overextension from the elections lining up perfectly with the halvings. Extended out just a little bit more. No big deal. No big deal. But what we see is that we have a uptick in confidence after the halving and after the election. Since 2012, we've been in that zone. Excuse me. So this is what we're looking at. But yeah, I just found that fascinating. I was just like, what the heck? What the heck, Bill Maher? Dirty little secret about crypto. No, the dirty little secret is that you have all these paid shills talking about crypto when they have no freaking clue what they're talking about. They have no clue. They have no clue. All right, so I love this quote. Envy was once considered to be one of the 7 deadly sins before it became one of the most admired virtues under its new name, social justice. And I thought about it and I was like, damn, that's pretty crazy. Because if you think about it, when you're envious or you're jealous of a certain group of people, well, what do? You make it a social justice issue and you make everyone equal and have them on a even playing field called communism, called socialism and communism, where everyone gets a fair chance because they're all getting the same and we're capped at, and you're only able to make a certain amount. So it can give a chance to the other guy. No, it's called, if you work hard, you gain. If you're a lazy, unmotivated person in society, you get what you put in. You get what you put in. It's not like, and this is why I think socialism and communism is such a bad idea, is because ultimately what it does is it makes a giant group of people put under an umbrella of a cap where you can't progress any more than what the cap in the system is going to tell you to do. And guess what? Everyone that is above that cap gets to do whatever they want. The leaders, the politicians, the people that are making the rules, they get to progress. They get to live in their communities where there's, no chaos and crime or whatever it may be. That's the kind of system they would love. Make people think that they're all on the even playing field. All right, so speaking of nations acquiring Bitcoin, so we did cover this yesterday, but we wanted to cover it again. We just found it fascinating. It just kind of came out of nowhere that Bhutan, a Buddhist community,
prioritizing happiness over wealth, has quietly emerged as a major player in the cryptocurrency world, with $780 million worth of Bitcoin, which is nearly a third of its GDP. Bhutan has become the fourth largest government holder of Bitcoin.
Fourth largest government holder of Bitcoin. So that is fascinating. And we were just let me mute this real quick because we wanted to show let's see, they had the list of how much they've acquired of against other countries. Where was that picture? They had it here. That's so crazy. So I wanted to show this right above El Salvador, and then you got Ukraine. All right, let's go back. All right, I wanted to full screen that. All right, look at this. This is so fascinating. So U.S., by means of confiscation and taking the Bitcoin, we have the most because of the way that we, as the United States, we don't a lot of the times acquire things by buying it. We just take it by military force. You get flashbanged, and then there you go. Then the government has your Bitcoin. Now China, interesting enough, you can't mine Bitcoin. I was just figuring this out. I was like, okay, what was the whole deal with the FUD on China banning Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining? Well, I think it was just banning Bitcoin mining for anyone who wanted to be an independent entity miner. And that's not happening in China. It's communist. So it has to be government sanctioned. It has to be probably government ran. It has to be through a certain way that it needs to be mined. And so this is probably why they're kind of loosen up the regulation for Bitcoin mining and maybe letting other institutions do it and not it be just government ran. This is my assumption. I need to do a little bit more research into it of how China was able to really get back up into that the race of owning more Bitcoin. And then you got UK, 61,000 Bitcoin, Bhutan. Look at this. I mean, like out of nowhere, you got Bhutan destroying El Salvador and Ukraine with their acquisition of a Bitcoin strategy. Now, Ozzy said, it was great to see the SEC getting grilled. Yeah, I did not watch that. I have not watched that. So let's see. I'm going through the comments. Free said, yep, it's hilarious. Ask the typical purple, pink hair colored, sandal wearing, big glasses wearing woman who votes Harris on how she feels about men. I need to show my wife that comment. Oh man. Okay, so Gabriel. All right, well, what's up, Gabriel? Said thank you for your advice from yesterday. Oh, of course. Dude, we have all been there, and I even had a moment this morning, man. I had a moment where I was just like, ugh. I had to get myself like I had to my wife had to remind me, she's like, just write your write a list down, get yourself organized, get it together. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. And so we all have those days, man, where we gotta be our own cheerleader too sometimes. Because if we're not, we'll beat ourselves into the ground. So, but welcome. It just shows that, hey, you're back. You're on your computer, you're watching crypto content, you're doing your research, and we are here for the long term. So let's go. All right, but yeah, so Sunset, but don't sleep on Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. Do some research, and you'll see that BTC is them taking your money. BTC can't scale, and it's expensive to move. Real money is scalable and cheap to move. Yeah, true. Bitcoin could be them, and then the BTs, and then the forks were the real thing. But guess what? You still got to pick the winners. You still have to pick the winners. That would just be like, okay, for example, there was a Pepe coin, an original Pepe coin that was created. Okay, original Pepe coin. And now, and this is probably actually proving your point more than my point, but I'll still say it. The winner, now that we've had all these Pepe coins, different Pepes, derivatives of Pepes, we have a obvious winner. It's Pepe ERC20. The Pepe that people are trading like crazy, has the top 10 highest trading volume of the entire market. That became the winner. So I'm going to bet on the winners, and that's kind of how I'm looking at Bitcoin. It's like, you could totally be right. Bitcoin 100% is being manipulated by institutional buying, but it still doesn't take away the fact that it's still the strongest network. It's still the strongest network. And I do believe it will be the money. There's no reason why all these billionaires are buying it and pivoting into Bitcoin. They'd be pivoting into Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, but that's not the case. They're pivoting into Bitcoin. And if you're going to not buy Bitcoin because you think it's going to cost too much to send, you don't want to think like that. That's like saying, I don't want to make this money because the government's going to tax me on it. It's like, oh, I don't want to take profits because I'll get taxed. It's like, what are you speaking about? What are you speaking about? So yeah, speaking of BlackRock and all that, you're selling your Ethereum? Well, BlackRock is building and buying on Ethereum. But yeah, it's a good point, Free. I love when people are fearful because you just buy more. Yeah, when you buy the fear. But we don't have to fear. We just need to actually channel the energy of the mighty Pepe and say namaste. Namaste in the markets. Yeah, namaste in the markets. I'm not going. Namaste. I'm namaste. Yeah, we're all staying. Yeah, millionaires don't care about gas fees. Only the brokies and the normies are going to care about the gas fees. But if you have so much Bitcoin, you're not going to care that it costs $100 to send a few $1,000. Like if you're sending thousands of dollars and it costs you $20, I wouldn't be too mad about it. But it's not going to cost you that much. I'll give you an example. Even when the Bitcoin network was going wild and there was still some, heavy throughput, I sent like $2,000 worth of Bitcoin and it only cost me $2. So, yeah, and Ozzy makes a good point. When you hear everyone on the street and media banging on about crypto and that's when you start DCAing out. Yeah. Yep, essentially. If we learn from the previous market. Yeah, did you sell your BTC? Namaste. Namaste. Yeah. All right. So let's get into the recent pollings here. Now, you guys, some of you are interested in the polls, but honestly, I think the polls are BS. I don't think the polls actually really mean anything. I think the polls are false. I think a lot of the support that we've had, basically for Harris, in my opinion, has been falsified by basically so much Democratic monetary influence that you have all of these celebrities and all of your favorite heartfelt celebrities, all the people that you grew up with, and you just love them so much. Julia Roberts, oh my gosh, Julia Roberts and Bill and Bryan Cranston. Oh, you watched Bryan Cranston your whole life on Malcolm in the Middle. You just felt like you just really related to him and that family. And Julia Roberts, oh, just the story of Pretty Woman, just the all these people. Oh man, Ben Stiller, man, he was so good in Meet the Parents. Did you love him in Meet the Parents? Oh, who else? Oh, Chris Rock. Oh man, you just grew up with all these people. Aren't they great? Aren't your heroes so great? Well, guess what? They're getting paid millions of dollars to spew a bunch of garbage and support Harris for no apparent reason besides just to say, oh, I think I would love to. Here's Chris Rock. Hey, man, let me tell you, I love to bring my two daughters into the White House to meet the first woman president. I didn't know she was black. Thought she was Indian. It all depends on what group of people that she's speaking in front of, if she decides if she's black or Indian or white or a middle class, middle class foreign person that relates and bases her turkey just like everyone else does. Do you get what I'm saying now? Okay, yeah. So that's what's kind of happening. That's what's happening. This person and this administration wants to tax the crap out of you and keep the status quo going. This person wants to actually keep value in America and is an American patriot in that regard and wants to be friendly with crypto and actually have success of the American people. This person does not. And the 4 years that we've been in is a direct correlation of that. And you guys know this. And if you were to be honest with yourself and look at the past 4 years and remember that this woman has been in power as the vice president for the past 4 years, has done nothing with the border, has done nothing about foreign policy as a representative of foreign affairs. That's the vice president's job, is being a representative and the liaison basically for foreign affairs. And so, terrible job. I'd fire her the moment that Afghanistan happened. Everyone should have been fired. Everyone. Fire them all. But no, they keep the status quo going. So I hope you guys realize what's happening right now. And this is why we have such a battle. This is why we have assassination attempts happening. This is why the world is the way it is right now, because it is a power play between the people who have had this Ponzi scheme going for so long that they are so scared that everyone is going to start figuring it out, and they're going to pivot and go, sorry, don't want my cash being siphoned away from me, and I don't want to live in this craziness anymore. Don't want to have 4 wars happening all around the world. Don't want to have massive inflation. Don't want to have my purchasing power of the dollar go down by 30%. I don't want my expenses to keep going up another 30%. That's what's happening. All right, so basically, though, if you have this assumption, the Wolf of all streets, Scott Melker, says Bitcoin doesn't give a crap who becomes president. Bitcoin doesn't give a crap who becomes president. It doesn't matter. And this is the chart that basically proves it, is this. You can see that who was president in 2012. You can see who was president in 2016. You can see who was president, obviously, in 2020 in these past 4 years. And tell you what, Bitcoin doesn't care. It doesn't really care. All right, so Any other breaking news? Anything else? Anything else we need to? Oh, we want to watch this. We had this. This is great. New Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a scarce, global, decentralized, non-sovereign asset. And this is from BlackRock's head of digital assets.
How hard is the sell when you think trying to tell them it's digital gold, yet the volatility is still so high, and many people don't understand exactly what it is at the end of the day? Is it something that will eventually be used as more payment methods moving forward across different parts of the world? Is it something that you hold and never sell, right? How do you then make that case to a generation of people who have not gotten into this asset?
Sure. Well, when you think about Bitcoin, we think of it primarily as an emerging global monetary alternative, right? It is a scarce, global, decentralized, non-sovereign asset. And it is an asset which has no country-specific risk, has no traditional counterparty risk. So these are interesting properties when you think of it from an investment perspective, particularly in a world where there's growing concerns over money printing, currency debasement risks, political, fiscal, sustainability challenges in the U.S. or elsewhere. And so that resonates, frankly, with a lot of investors. It goes back to what we talked about earlier with the risk-on piece. It confuses investors when people talk about it as risk-on, because based on the properties that I just described, you would think of it as risk-off. And that's where I think
it has a marketing problem.
So you could say that.
So it's interesting, like, because Bitcoin was kind of in that realm of volatility, like having way more volatility and not being as stable back when it was first created. But now that it's had some time to mature and grow, it is becoming a risk-off asset. What's skipping? This video or my video? Let's see. I don't know. It looks like my connection's good. I hope I'm not skipping. I hope we're not lagging out. Let's double check. Hope we're doing good. And I hope you guys are doing good as well. Shout out to everyone who's been active in the chat, and shout out to the Dojo crew. You guys are awesome. Let's check. Let's see here. It's gonna connect real quick. Yeah, it looks like it's fine. Yeah, all right. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. An occasional lag. Okay, all right. Yeah, so like I said, guys, I'm running off of Wi-Fi, which I normally would not like to do. Don't like to run streams off of Wi-Fi. It's never a smart thing to do. I moved away from my router. My router was in my last spot, so I was able to just go right in, Cat 5, go right in with an Ethernet cord. So, but now I'm on Wi-Fi. So if it ever does kind of have a little bit of a lag or a little drop out, that is why. It's because we're running off that Wi-Fi signal. All right, so real quick, this is the top 14 best decentralized finance projects in 2024. We thought we wanted to remind you guys of some of these things to keep your finger on the dial for DeFi, because the DeFi protocols and the DeFi tokens connected with them could absolutely explode when we start to go on this run. Now let's look at the list. You'll be familiar with some of these, and some of these you might not. We got Uniswap, which is the top Ethereum decentralized exchange. We got Aave, which is the largest lending protocol on Ethereum. And then leading staking protocol is Lido DAO. And then you also have Rocket Pool and things like that as well. I know, it's still better than dial-up. I know, at least I'm not running on 56K. And then we have Egan Layer, the Egan Layer top Ethereum restaking protocol. So a restaking protocol. And then we have Ondo Finance, which is the largest real-world asset protocol. People have been really bullish on Ondo. And then you have PancakeSwap, which was like during DeFi summer last year in 2021. I mean, people were just like making bank on PancakeSwap, utilizing the farms, utilizing the yields, and a lot of the options that came with going into BNBs, smart contracts. And so still keep that on the list. Jito, so top dApp on Solana blockchain, Jito. And then we have MakerDAO, creating the largest decentralized stablecoin, which is DAI. And then we have Radium, which is one of the leading decentralized exchanges on Solana. And another one to add to that list along with Radium is Orca. You don't want to fade Orca because it's kind of the third tier exchange, decentralized exchange that's been around for a little while. And I would think like as a hedge and say, okay, I'm really bullish on Jupiter and on Radium, but if you're bullish on those and also on Aerodrome, then you would be bullish on Orca as well, to not forget about Orca. And this is on Solana, so let's see, and then Aerodrome, and then anything else. Yeah, so that's just keep the radar, keep these things on the radar. Let them beep and blip on the radar a little bit, because not only are you trying to invest in the tokens that these platforms are offering, you want to invest possibly in the token itself of the platform. So I just want to remind you guys of that. Okay, so here we go. Just in, 42 Congress members wrote to the SEC Chair Gary Gensler urging him to allow banks to custody Bitcoin. Now, this is hilarious because we have been talking about this. We've been stating that if the banks want to survive and actually make money on this crypto train, they will be custodians of Bitcoin, just like Coinbase. Imagine you pull up your Bank of America app, your banking app, or your Wells Fargo app, or whatever, your JP Morgan, your Chase account, and for people who don't want to self-custodian, because look, not your keys, not your crypto, but for grandma and grandpa and people that just don't want to do crypto, but they want to have a little stake in it, this is where the game is going to change massively, because it's a if you can't beat them, join them type situation. And this is why I think Bitcoin has become what it is, because it can't be stopped. It can only be joined. Can't stop it. Might as well join it. And so this is why I think the banks are eventually going to pivot, and they're going to be custodians of crypto assets. And they might even go as far as using crypto as the back end of their infrastructure for payment railing with stable coins. And hopefully that does not lead to a central bank digital currency, but we have liquidity onboard ramps that are not subject to what a central bank digital currency would do, and that would be mass surveillance of everyone's finances and what you purchase, and being able to control what and when you purchase things. So we need to make sure that doesn't actually come to fruition with the incorporation of the connection with the banks. So that's also really, really huge. All right, so let's get out of the news section. Let's go to the quote of the day. We're going to go to the quote of the day. We have basically the same quotes. We really liked these quotes, so we'll go through these quotes again just to remind you guys of kind of where we're at in the market cycle, how these quotes relate to where we're at right now, is just to build patience and to also embrace how the world is pivoting from traditional finance from TradFi to Web3 and going forward. And think about it, how the internet came in 2000, really strong, came in 2000. Then we had the dot-com bubble. And then out of the dot-com bubble came things like Amazon, eBay, just keep going across the board of all the things that came out of that with patience. So check this out. So quote of the day: the market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. The beautiful thing about crypto, and that's from Warren Buffett, and I said, this is cool. The beautiful thing about crypto is that if you miss the ideal entry, you could just play another chart. There's something going on 24/7 in crypto, a fact that I remind myself every day whenever I'm feeling the urge to chase. Now that's from Big Cheds. Shout out to Big Cheds. Was a normal guest on Ivan on Tech Stream last year and the year before, trying to get everyone super bullish. And check this out. So the big money is not in the buying and selling, but in the waiting. And then we have another quote. Change doesn't happen overnight. There's no button that's pushed to magically alter everything. Change happens little by little, day by day, hour by hour. I think a lot of the times we find ourselves wanting to like, okay, we did the thing. All right, now let's see immediate results. And we want like immediate results. We want it now. I've noticed with myself, even with building this channel, I mean, and honestly, like my channel, if I think about it, if I were to just like see the progression of where I came from, like where I started and where I am now, oh my God, like it's night and day. It's freaking night and day. But it's by taking those steps every single day, day by day, just going at it, and you will see the reward. It's called a gestation period. And now if you're into metaphysics and energy and all that stuff and manifestation, there is something called a gestation period. You have to kind of almost the universe digests your efforts and your abilities and your action on something that you want, whether it be your dreams, your aspirations, anything that you are trying to go towards. The universe is basically saying, okay, well, you put the action in, but you only did it one time. Where's the consistency? Where's the actual belief? Where's the actual belief that you can attain your dreams, that you are worthy of these things? So it all combines into a gestation period of finally when you really start to put in the work and you start to connect the dots and you start to use the signs and the synchronicities of what is happening in your life, then it finally starts to birth and the gestation period ends. And then it comes. But it's getting through that impatience, being impatient and just being like, oh, I want it now. I want it now. But you gotta just trust the process. Trust the process. Trust that process. All right, so last quote. We're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow, outdated big banks behind. Now, we go back to this, and makes a lot of sense on why the banks are going to want a little piece of that pie because they do not want to get left behind. They're going to want to join. If you can't beat them, join them. Okay, guys, so that was the quote of the day. So now we're going to get to the coin of the day. We're going to be real quick on the coin of the day, and let's actually I need to reposition some stuff here. Let's see. Bam. All right, so now my head is not in the way. All right, so I hope you guys are liking the new little animations, keeping the show fun, keeping us on track. And so whenever you come in the live stream, you know at what point of the live stream we're at. We're now on the coin of the day. All right, now, so I want you guys to guess what you think the coin of the day is going to be. What do you think the coin of the day is going to be? Drum roll. What do you think the coin of the day is going to be? All right. Any guesses? Any guesses of the coin of the day? Close. All right, waffles. We got Sheba, Brett, waffles. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. All right, we have a right answer. It's PayPay. All right, shout out to Steve Randall Jr. for getting that right. We are going to talk a little bit about PayPay. So PayPay is the coin of the day that we're going to talk about. And we pull up the chart here. We got the chart up. what I want to mention about PayPay is that it was like we talked about winners, there's always like a little narrative that'll come up, which was the Chinese Matt Fuhrer character narrative, going off of the characters like Landwolf, Brett, Pepe, Andy. And so what ended up happening was these coins had a separate narrative break off, which was the Chinese versions of these tokens. PayPay being one of them was the one I think that ended up being the market winner. And what I mean by that is that the community and the market decides who wins. Basically, the market makers, the community, crypto Twitter, they end up kind of cumulatively deciding who the winner is, and when we say winner, we just mean that, look, it's the one that got the most liquidity. It's got really great market cap. It has strong holder count, and it doesn't have major pumpy green candle and a major dumpy red candle on the chart when you're looking at the daily. It just looks like a healthy chart. And now the fact that they've been able to do this in such a short amount of time since the beginning of June. So June, July, August. I mean, basically in 3 months, this thing was able to do a lot and gain a lot of holders. And also they're really active on Twitter. The dev was in Singapore. The dev is constantly cooking up the partnerships. There's a lot of implementation of the PayPay coin in different protocols and applications. Travala, you can use PayPay for Travala. You can use Change Now, which is the Change Now is changenow.io. If you've never used it, it's a swap and bridge service that you can say if you want to just like send in a certain coin, you can convert it and have it convert to PayPay, and they'll send the PayPay to your wallet, or vice versa. So, and I actually use changenow.io for getting liquidity into Pulse Chain. So if I have, like, say, Tron USDT, and I want to transfer that out of an exchange or wherever, I can use that and get it directly converted to PLS and have it sent to my MetaMask wallet. So just so you guys know, if you don't know about that, well, now you know. All right, so price of Pepe right now is sitting at really decent support. We bounced off a support from one of the green candles of the bull flag here. So we had a bull pennant, and you can see here that the bull pennant was played out textbook. Then on a shorter time frame on the 4-hour, ended up having another flag form, which was a little bit more of a short-term flag, where we ended up having some of these movements here. Let me do this. Let me do this. And we had basically like this little test here. Whoa. Of another little small flag breakout. I just love that it ended up doing this, because this showed some massive strength from these levels. And I love doing these little staircase steps. It's like 1, 2, and then we actually ended up getting up to testing that all-time high again off of the top of the descending wedge that ended up happening here on the 4-hour. You go to the daily, looks a little bit more like this. Now, I see a similar pattern happening where we could actually have a test back up to this range. We have a test back up to 6 zeros, 2768. And then we possibly will get a little resistance off of some selling pressure of hitting some resistance levels. And then you can see here, if we crush it, then we're sitting at massive support to get us back to all-time highs, which would be up at 6 zeros, 4406. And from where we're sitting at right now, that would give us a 176% move to the upside. And that's with a market cap being below $100 million market cap. Liquidity is at 2.4 mil, and we are steadily increasing that liquidity, which is great. And yeah, so just so you know, it is a Chinese version of Pepe, and it is one of the Pepe derivatives that has been just performing really well and has been performing pretty strong, even though the market has been kind of boring. It hasn't been really doing too much, and people are just very uninterested. But with that being said, it's still doing well. Oh yeah, and then we are Headband. We're gonna be buying ticker Bitcoin as well. That's one of our DCA picks for the bull run, because we are bullish on ticker Bitcoin, of course. And that's going to be obviously one of the coins of the day coming up here pretty soon. We'll have that as the coin of the day, of course. And maybe when it's the coin of the day, then we'll have James Slammerman himself, the dev, More Light, come on the show and talk about ticker Bitcoin. What do you guys say about that? I think that would be pretty awesome. We need to get the likes up. Guys. We got to get the likes up. We got to get the likes going. We're only at 13 likes. We like to end the stream by getting at least 20 likes before we end the stream. So that would be absolutely amazing. But yeah, we talked to James Slammerman in person. We met him in person. We introduced ourselves at Karate Combat in Nashville, and we asked him, "Hey, you got to come on the channel and talk about ticker Bitcoin." And he said, "Sure," but I've been traveling a lot, so we'll hopefully get him on the show very soon. But yep, just so you guys know, you can follow PayPay on X at PayPay ERC20. So it's very similar to the Pepe account, which is Pepe ERC20. And I just feel like this could be the second chance of, like, if you miss the momentum of Pepe last year and didn't have the conviction to hold, this one for me feels like a second chance at a Pepe hold, but it being PayPay, so then we can actually PayPay ourselves towards the end of the bull run. And so this is being one of our speculative, tokens, being a meme coin that we are going to hold as long as we can, up until that point where we start to feel greed, just the frothy greed of the market, and then that's when we're going to start taking some profits. But this is the high conviction play along with Ponky, Pepe, Kendu Inu. But so it's in that list of some strong coins. And yep, so that's the coin of the day, guys. Thanks for sticking with it. Thanks for sticking with me for the coin of the day. Now we'll double check on our Bitcoin trade here before we get into the little small Q&A section, because man, we just went way too long. I just realized that we've been streaming for over an hour and a half, and I don't know how that happened. Probably because we're running our mouth again, but maybe that's why you guys come to the channel. So you can hear me run my mouth, which is very surprising to me. Thank God that I have a channel like this, because if I did not, I would be ear beating my wife into the ground, and it would be rest in peace for her ears when it comes to crypto. Oh man. But yeah, the W pattern I think is playing out. The W pattern is playing out. I think we're going to test up. We're going to break that. We're going to hit that Bollinger. We're going to hit that Bollinger Band. 65K. Then we're going to hit that top right there. 66.3. Bust that 65 resistance right here, right at the top of that band, 65K. We're going to break that resistance today, I think. We're going to bust it up. And then once we actually trade above it, then that would make the case for that retracement, that Fibonacci retracement up at the top here, where we're going to see that crush above going into the 786. We're above. We got to get above, really actually trade above that 618, and also above this value area node, which is at 64.2, which we just did. We got a little rejection, but now we're eyeing, which is so perfect, the 786 Fibonacci level of 66.2 lines up exactly where the top of the Bollinger Band is. If you're looking at it, zooming in, it's right here, right there, key level. And so we got to watch that. I think in the short term here, this is where we could be headed. I'm leaving. I haven't scalped any profits off this trade yet. There were some opportunities too. I think the opportunity to scalp a little bit of those profits basically came and went from yesterday. Like basically yesterday or the day before, we got up in profits of about $45 in BTC. So we were up about 21% or 22. And then we could have taken the profits right off of that trade and then just held and re-entered into a good position. But our entry price is actually pretty solid. Our entry price right now on this particular long is 62,865, under 63,000. And so if you think we're going to be trading off of some momentum here in the short term, then which I do believe so, then I think a good actual profit taking level would be at the next resistance, which is at 70K, 71K. So we do have a take profit actually set at 71K, but we'll probably actually do the take profit at 70K. I think that would be a little bit more reasonable to take it right at that point. But we're not taking the whole trade though. That's the thing. We're not taking the whole trade. We're going to take half of the trade at 100% profit. And so that would mean we would be getting about $70 of Bitcoin to kind of pump into this long, because this particular long, I want this to be the swing long that I re-enter and readjust margin for when we start to go to 100K, because then that's how we are going to perform very well with this trade. But we do have a stop loss set, of course. We do have a stop loss set, and we have a take profit. Stop loss is set at 61,633, which means we would be down. Let's look at it again. On the stop loss, we would be taking the trade off at 19% just to make sure we don't get consolidated all the way down and get fully liquidated, but we will make sure we have that proper risk management set for our trades. But yeah, all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this live stream. I really do appreciate you guys coming in, giving me your thoughts and your observations. Do me a favor and hit the like button and use all of the links in the description. My channel is getting super close to is there really only one person watching? Is this false? Is there only one person watching right now? Oh no, okay. I was like, man, that algorithm is getting rough. Algorithm's getting rough, bro. I was like, geez, this has got one person in here. Okay. No, there's more. Got scared for a second. I was like, God, I gotta at least have more than one person watching. All right, so yeah, make sure you guys are showing this channel to your friends, helping me get to that 3,000 mark. That'd be such an awesome milestone. I remember being under 1,000 subscribers and just like, man, just like was feeling so excited and so grindy to get up to 1,000, and now I'm getting close to 3,000. So really, guys, it's amazing. Thank you so much to the people that have been following this channel for however long you've been following it. Really means a lot. And yeah, hope you have a good rest of the day, good rest of the Wednesday. I don't think we have any other questions. Any questions, discussions, debates? We've literally been streaming for way too long now, I think. Let's see. We've been streaming for an hour and a half. So I think it's time to call it. But all right, guys. Here's a concise list of the things to support the channel directly, and we will see you guys later today. Peace out.